No, 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 no. Are we going to open up this can of worms? I guess we got no choice, don't we? Last time, it was Edmonton Oilers superstar Connor McDavid, and the idea as to whether or not we could get ourselves a showcase of Mick Montreal. Today, we're going from the Mick to the Mac. Return of the Mac. Something is what it is, what it isn't. Looking for a better way to get out of bed instead of getting on the internet and something. I think I already did that a few videos ago. It's summer. It's tough, isn't it? Either way, today we're diving into the idea of Colorado Avalanche superstar Nathan MacKinnon heading over to the Montreal Canadiens. And the reason we are diving into this is because of what was talked about on the Sick podcast, courtesy of the Daily Sick Puck Links. This was from a few days ago. The tweet that they used to promote this piece only had 2,000 views, 1 reply, and 1 retweet. But this is what was posted about here. Your Daily Sick Puck Links for August 6, 2026, so 2 days ago. Could the Habs ever pry Nathan MacKinnon away from the Colorado Avalanche? What will Jayden Strubl's role be with the Canadiens this season? And are the Columbus Blue Jackets heading the way of the Arizona Coyotes? Those are all pretty interesting topics, but of course, the big money topic is right at the beginning. Could the Canadiens ever pry Colorado Avalanche superstar Nathan MacKinnon away from the Avs? Your sick links go out there and describe what's going on. Nick Lariviere continues his off-season Canadiens expected role profiles, focusing on Canadiens D-man Jayden Struble. Sources have confirmed to the Sick Podcast Network that the Montreal Canadiens are still searching for a second-line center and a second-pairing right-shot D. JD Lagrange looks at some candidates they may be able to acquire on the NHL trade market. How about Alexis Lafreniere? Speaking of Canadiens trade targets, could the Habs ever convince the Colorado Avalanche to trade Nathan MacKinnon? Now, I'll leave a link in the description, not only to this article itself, but also to the Sick Podcast with Tony Marinaro video that was posted onto the Sick Podcast's YouTube channel. This is a pretty big discussion with Jimmy Murphy and Shane Gaumond, so big shout out over to them for putting together this show. But when it comes to the actual article itself, the article is essentially just an advertisement for the video itself. There isn't really anything going on with Nathan MacKinnon outside of the little write-up here. So in order for us to understand what's being talked about, we have to go over onto YouTube, we have to go to the 40-ish minute mark of the podcast, and then we got to take a look at the transcription of what was said over here. Here is the transcript of the actual broadcast and the conversation that goes on between Murphy and Gaumond. Take a look at this. Starting at the 42-minute mark, there's a conversation on Nathan MacKinnon. How he's a pretty competitive dude, and how we would really like to see Nathan MacKinnon reeling into his teammates. Nobody has any issue with the way that MacKinnon does that, but sometimes, and it's not just Nathan MacKinnon, we have seen it in every pro sport, sometimes it's rubbed some of the teammates the wrong way. Not to the point where they're like, get him out of here, or I want out of here. Nothing like that. It's just, if Nathan MacKinnon was to become available on the trade market, I stress the if, that's a capital I, if, of course, being talked about over here on the broadcast. You know, Jay and I both agreed. I would. Would you trade Cole Caulfield in a deal for Nathan MacKinnon? Now, from here on out, unfortunately, if you just read the transcript itself, it's not really the most cohesive thing. Like, it makes a lot more sense when you listen to the actual video broadcast, and of course, that's why the link in the description to this video is going to be available for you there. But essentially, there is a conversation about Nathan MacKinnon and the fact that he is making $12.6 million a year till the end of 2031. Look at all the stuff he has gone through as a player. He'd be a great guy to help facilitate a winning environment in Montreal. There's a conversation on Jacob Fowler being included in MacKinnon trade discourse, whether or not he should be in that conversation. I think, nonetheless, having MacKinnon and Suzuki as a 1-2 punch is unfair. Do you think it could be possible to see Nathan MacKinnon in a Habs jersey at some point? And then all the comments are going out there and saying, LOL, yeah, Jacob Fowler for Nathan MacKinnon. My gosh, so much hate. This is ridiculous. I'm out. Like, that's how the live YouTube chat goes sometimes. MacKinnon and Makar are not going anywhere, and if they are, the Habs will not tear down everything they've built for one player. They just won't do it. Relax, dude. Like, you could definitely see that the commenters are going down a pretty interesting path. This topic is a bit much. I don't think Colorado would ever think of trading him. This guy's a clown, but he is such a clickbaiter. Hey, it takes one to know one, doesn't it? Either way, because it was talked about in the Sick podcast, I want to talk about it too, because if some folks are going to go out there and discuss Nathan MacKinnon to Montreal, I want in on those hypotheses and the possibility, because Nathan MacKinnon is 30 years old, 6 feet 201, a right-handed center who had scored 127 points in 80 games last season. 53 goals, 74 assists. He is a multi-time 50-goal scorer and a one-time 140-point scorer. Say what you want about playoff production and the fact that Nathan MacKinnon, while it's true he produces these crazy over-point-per-game seasons, his playoff runs are always just above a point per game. Like, the ratio of points per game is always a little bit better in the regular season compared to the playoffs. Spare the 2019-20 playoff run where MacKinnon had 25 points in 15 games. All these other runs that he had, 15 points in 10 games. Okay, that's pretty good. 24 points in 20 games. Okay, pretty good. 7.7 games, 14 points 11 games, 11 points in 7 games, and then 15 points in 13 games. These are all fine, but it's not 140 points in 82 games fine. Like, I'm not using this as an opportunity to trash talk Nathan MacKinnon. He is literally like second or third best in the NHL and probably first best on a select few nights of the year. But this is a guy that if you were to bring him over to the Montreal Canadiens, could you imagine what Nathan MacKinnon would do on a second line role? You give Nick Suzuki all the tough matchups, and then you get Nathan MacKinnon playing second-line center. If Montreal is at home and the Habs get last change, oh boy, Nathan MacKinnon is going to feast on all of these teams. I think magnitude-wise, MacKinnon is a higher value player than Nick Suzuki. Is that a hot take? Not sure. But if Montreal wants to act as Nick Suzuki is their first-line center with his defensive responsibility, I can see them going down a path where they say, yeah, Nick Suzuki is our number one, but our number two exists to go out there and take advantage of all the other teams' number twos. I just wonder if Montreal is on the road and other teams have last change, do other teams take off their first-line center when Nick Suzuki is out there and they give him the second-line center because they think, okay, well, Nathan MacKinnon is coming later. We got to save our first line for Nathan MacKinnon's line when he comes over the boards. Furthermore to that point, if you're thinking about Cole Caulfield and, let's say, Jacob Fowler going over to Colorado for Nathan MacKinnon, if you keep Ivan Demidov, if you keep Slavkovsky, if you keep Zhuravsky and Pugachev, could you imagine MacKinnon and Pugachev together? Not saying that Pugachev is super talented offensively in the same way that a Demidov is, but like, Nathan MacKinnon is a freight train. Even though he's 6 feet 201, the guy plays huge. And we saw that in the Stanley Cup Playoffs this previous run, especially against Minnesota and Quinn Hughes. Nathan MacKinnon brings a level of physicality that I think be so cool in Montreal. If he plays with Demidov, he gets the points. If he plays with Pugachev, he gets the hits. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Is it realistic at all to think about whether or not MacKinnon could be a Canadian? I'm saying no. I'm saying it's absolutely not going to happen. But if the folks on the Sick Podcast are going to talk about it, I want to talk about it too. Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.